Good morning. Glad to see you here for the Gaggle this morning. We've got some announcements. You've just gotten the one from Angela, and Michelle would like to talk to you a little bit about our new iPad sign-in.
Okay, so I don't know if everyone's seen the iPad. It's been up by the cash register. There's also instructions, which is really quick, and they're on the back as well. Make it easy. Just swipe to unlock. It's the only app that you can get to. Press that, and it'll load, and they just enter in their information. We do have a keyboard up there for now. We're going to try and replace it with one that's not broken, or missing a key at least. Once it's completed, it's going to have a sign that says almost finished with pictures on here. But then you're going to go up here to the very first button, and then down there, and it'll just reload it. Instead of having to go back, press exit or anything, you just automatically reload from there.
Is this for visitors?
Yes.
Yes.
It's our guest book.
And what this is replacing the guest book, so we're not going to have people try to translate the chicken scratch we get sometimes and then enter it into the computer. This will go right into the website, and it will automatically sign them up for the electronic newsletter. So it's important that the docents understand this and the people in the gift shop understand this. Michelle's put this together for us and donated the iPad, so this is going to be really cool. It's just going to be a really nice thing to have here, so we'll get that information right away. It will also put them on there if they want to volunteer. So I'm really looking forward to this. One more step in our evolution. Any questions of Michelle? Michelle is also the brewmeister for Hops and Props this year. So she's talking to breweries already, and we're going to have to start having paperwork into the city in January. So start talking it up, because it's not too soon. We're going to be looking for airplanes to fly in. I'm not certain we're going to try to get military airplanes this year. It's just too difficult. And for that time period, a few weeks before, like 3 or 4 weeks before, they will have been coming out here for the JRB's air show. So thanks, Michelle. I thought you were going to stay here, but thank you. So at any rate, we're going to be looking for civilian airplanes this year. Okay. Let's see. Donna, do you have anything? No.
I can't think of anything.
Okay, but she might, so she may come back. Okay. First order of business. We're gonna do some anniversary pins. Let's see. Wes is not here. Greg Johnson. I'm glad you're here today. Don't worry about. Well, I'll take his name off of that. These are 5-year pins. This is Greg's 5-year pin. Believe it or not, I know he hides back there in the glowworm, and so nobody knows he's here, but we do. I know he's here. Jake, where's Jake? Jake has also been with us for 5 years now.
Thank you. Man.
And let's see, I've got 2 more. I've got one for Bill Morris, and one for Ben Guttery. Okay, and those are the 5-year pins. So. Thank you, guys. Now, I got some others here. Let's see. Where's Rich? Rich, 3-year pin.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rich. Give Rich a clap. No, just one. Just 1, 2, maybe 3. Yeah, let's not go crazy.
5 years.
Okay. Michelle. Please, front and center.
Okay.
Yes. Let Michelle through. It almost seems like Michelle has been here a lot longer. She's been so important to us, but you're 1-year pin.
Awesome, thank you.
Oh, thank you. And where's Bucky?
Right here.
Scared me. Bucky, your 1-year pin.
Thank you.
You don't get a hug, though.
All right.
What's up with the no hug?
Did we ever get your name tag?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's spelled wrong. No, it's
yeah, it was spelled with an F.
Oh boy.
That's on the tape now, isn't it, too? Okay. Okay, that's all we've got in anniversary pins for right now, the people that are here. Got some announcements on a bunch of things here. Number 1, we made a huge step this week forward in the evolution of the museum, and we hired an employee, our very first. We've hired a young lady named Brittany Spragans. You will meet her in the next couple of weeks probably. She is the Director of Museum Operations. She's a graduate of Texas Tech. She's got a master's degree in museum sciences. And she comes to us after a 6-month stint in Zimbabwe, putting a museum together in Zimbabwe. So we're really fortunate to have her here, and she's going to be initially her job is going to be working with Ben in the collection. Eventually, she will be working into all of the operations and overseeing all of the operations of the museum. But initially, we've got to get the collection under control, and she's going to be working on the application that we have to submit to the Air Force Museum, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. So that's where her time is going to be spent over the next couple of 3 months probably. But then we will be working in her into various aspects. She's going to be the first couple of weeks that she's here. She's going to be working with each one of our different groups here. We're going to have her trained as a docent. We'll have her trained to work the gift shop. We will have her come out and work with the guys on the airplanes for a day or two. She's really looking forward to that, actually. But
Does she drink beer?
she says she does. Okay, she says she does. At least she said she didn't have an aversion to that. Let's put it that way. So at any rate, we're going to have her work in each one of the functions around here, so she has a feel for how this museum operates and how it all works. She's going to bring a lot of things to us and benefit to us, other than just working with the collections and things. One of the things that we've battled with here for the last couple of years as we've tried to get grants and funding is that the fundraising organizations or the funding organizations have said that we're too small, that our annual budget is too small. Or they'd take a look at it and they'd say, well, we don't have any professional museum people on the staff. So now we're breaking both of those molds. We're going to have a professional museum person on staff, and it's also going to raise our budget to the point where we'll be considered by some of these foundations now. So it's a really big step for all of us. And when you see her and she comes in, please welcome her aboard. Okay. Yes.
Is she going to be here like on Wednesday?
She will be here. She will be here essentially on Wednesdays and Saturdays for sure. We haven't decided whether Sunday's going to be one of her days or not, or whether she is going to be. She'll be working from home. I don't want her out here if there's nobody out here. I don't want her out here by herself. So on some of the days when Breakfast Club is here, she may come out and do some things here too. So there's going to be a lot of change and a lot of things that we're going to be doing.
One of the things that will, if the Breakfast Club decides that next week we're not coming out, they need to let somebody know so that she doesn't come out here and be here by herself.
We just don't want we don't want that at all. We don't do that with anybody now. I'm not going to expect her to do that either. Let's see. One of the primary reasons that we wanted to bring her on is the B-58. Have any of you heard about the B-58 situation? Okay. There's a B-58 that is up at the former Chanute Air Force Base at the Chanute, I guess it's called the Chanute Aerospace Museum. That museum is closing at the end of December. They've been trying to find homes for a number of the aircraft. One of them is a B-58. It was, as it turns out, it was one of the prototype airplanes. And it actually was a factory airplane for most of its career with Convair. But towards the end of its career, it spent a lot of time in Edwards also, but towards the end of its career it was transferred to Chanute to be part of some training wing there or something like that. At any rate, somebody put a hard landing on it there and broke the main landing gear, and it never flew again. And so it sat there until some museum people attempted to move it and then broke the nose gear. So now it's sitting there with this wooden framework underneath its nose. But at any rate, the airplane has to be pardon?
I can fix that.
Yeah, we think we can too. However, so the situation is the Air Force Museum actually came to us and said, are you interested in this? Because we've got some other people that are. If you're interested, we want to know because we'll put you into consideration. So last several weeks, there have been lots of communications, and our big stumbling block with the Air Force Museum, and we've applied to them on 3 different occasions to be certified by them. We applied in 99, in 2000, again in 2005. We were turned down in all of those cases, primarily because we didn't have a professional staff person, full-time staff person. Working with the museum. That's another reason that we brought Brittany on, because we feel confident we can now pass the certification for the Air Force Museum, whether we get the B-58 or not. You know, we'd still like to have an F-16, we'd like to have an A-10, and some of those kinds of things. So whether we get the B-58 or not, the package is going to go in for certification, and Brittany being on it pretty much assures us that will happen. Where the B-58 is concerned, I'm not going to even attempt to have any of us go up to Chanute and take a B-58 apart and put it on multiple trucks, 4 to 5 trucks, to bring it back. One of the biggest reasons for that is that the wing doesn't come off of a B-58. You have to cut the wing off of the B-58. So
Back together.
yeah, and then wire it back together. So we're not going to attempt to do that. We're getting estimates on the cost of having it broken down and transported and put back together here. And the least expensive estimate we've got on that is $150,000. We're not, yeah, cough, cough. We're not attempting to raise that money, but the B-58 Association is. They have some dollars that they're going to put into this cause, and they've also put in a grant request to the Air Power Council Foundation for the remainder of the money. So we'll see. In the meantime, we have been trying to rally support from people who can help us and put letters of support in on the package. So we've got a couple of brigadiers so far. Gordon England has said he would support. Mark Vesey said he would support. Kay Granger's office is interested in helping out. Gary North, a 4-star, said he's willing to help. We just were in contact with an air. Pardon? Cornyn's office is probably going to help out, and we've got a gentleman, Mike Ross, who's a 3-star, worked for Lockheed. We recently been talking to him, and he'll probably help. So. And Betsy, yeah. So we hope that we're going to have a package of support sufficient that even if we've got some deficiencies, nobody's going to be dumb enough to not approve us. So, at any rate, that's where that all goes. If we get the airplane, it's a monster. It's essentially 100 feet by 60 feet. So it's going to take up a big chunk of real estate here. And it'll take a while to put it back together again.
It's a big attraction.
I would think so. Considering that right now here in Fort Worth, the only example of an airplane that came out of Air Force Plant 4 is our 111 out here. Okay, that's it. So it would be nice to have the B-58 while we still have B-58 people here in the area. So yeah, we think that'd be very important. Okay, parades are coming. Obviously, we got one tomorrow, so whoever can help us out this afternoon, get the helicopter ready for the parade. If you want to go on the parade tomorrow, and I encourage that because we've got room for 7-8 people or so on the float. You just need to have some kind of holiday garb on. You can't come as Santa Claus. That's the only restriction. We have to have the float in place down at Panther Island by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The parade doesn't start until 6, but the floats have to be in down there. If you want to come along and help, that's fine. But you'll need to come down, I believe it's Henderson. That's right there. Yeah. You park on the east side of Henderson, and then you can walk underneath the bridge over to where the floats will all be at. Let's see. And then we've got another parade on December 5th. We're going to be in the Stockyard Parade.
Jim, do we have a float number or sign?
No, not yet. No. That happens when we get there. They give us their stick with our number on it. But we're going to be in the Stockyards Parade on the 5th of December. Tony DeBuren and Edith are coming back from Belgium. They're going to be here that weekend. They're coming out to take a look at our spare OV-10 parts and see what we can do about providing some of those to them and them getting us the hubs back and that kind of thing. I think the hubs are too big for them to put in their suitcases, but we'll see. But they're going to be here, so we're going to want people to help ride on the float for the Stockyards Parade. Tom is also going to Tom's had the helicopter at his house for the last week or so, and he called me the other day and said, my neighbors called me about the helicopter, and I thought, oh great, they're complaining about the helicopter being out there, because we had it at University of Scouting last weekend, and we took it over to Rayburn Elementary yesterday and dealt with 400 pre-K to 5th graders, kids over there. It was a good time, but at any rate, so Tom just had it at home, and the people in his neighborhood said, no, we like it. Can you bring it back for our Christmas party? So, so he's going to take it back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to take it.
They want the lights on. They don't know it's coming. Most of the people, only the activities director knows that it's coming with the lights on.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. And then
take it out Friday and bring it back here Saturday.
And then we're going to be in the Armed Forces Bowl, and we'll leave the lights on it for that because that's December 28th, I think, or 29th. Yeah. And so in the meantime, we'll park it out here in the parking lot with the lights on it. So that's about that from that standpoint. Now, the one last thing is, and most of the maintenance guys already know this, but Christmas started early for the maintenance department today. Steve Bloomberg brought in the spray rig that everybody was so excited about on the OV10, and with a thank you to Bill and Chip and Jack and Nick Rico and some other people, we've been able to have the funds to have Steve bring in that spray rig. So that's going to be a big game changer here when we get back into the painting business this spring. So thanks to everybody who helped out with that. If you want to see the spray rig, you're going to have to hurry because Steve tells us we have to hide it, so we're going to camouflage it, chain it to the floor, and everything else. Don't tell people we have it. He said they're highly pilferable items. So. Okay, the one last thing, and this is going to get into letting Bill do his presentation today, is we had an organizational meeting here last week for the World War I Centennial commemoration. We are the coordinators for the north of Texas right now to coordinate for the festivities that are going to be taking place over the next several years. We've got a gentleman named Mike Visconage that lives down in San Antonio. He's the southern coordinator. We're the northern coordinator for the state. He's working with the governor's office to get us established as the official commemoration body for the state with the National Commission. And so that looks like he's working on that. That's going to happen. But we've been gathering together a lot of people here that are interested in the First World War and commemorating that with all kinds of different ideas that we've had. Ben's involved. Ben established a Facebook page for us. We're getting ready to set up a website for it, a blog. I put together a little newsletter this last week. We've been finding all kinds of people who are interested on all kinds of different levels. One of the things I just learned this week that I wasn't aware of is, y'all know about the Code Talkers, right? The Navajo Code Talkers. Do you know that actually started in the First World War? And that it started right here at Camp Bowie? Really? With the Choctaws. Yeah, so the original Code Talkers were here in Fort Worth with the Choctaws. So that was something we found out because we've now, part of our new group for Northern Texas is going to be the 5 civilized tribes from Oklahoma are going to be part of this commemoration. So it's really getting widespread. Fort Worth Independent School District's involved. The National Archives are involved. Tyler Alberts is involved with his museum, and we start gathering people each week. The reason I stepped us up and put us in the middle of this thing is the whole idea that we talk about relevance. Are we relevant? And are we credible? And we're going to be in front of the people of North Texas and Fort Worth for the next few years because of this World War I commemoration. That doesn't mean we're losing sight of what we're doing as an aviation museum, but we can blend that in as we move forward. But people are going to be talking about us, and they're going to be looking to us for information, and when we start going out and doing presentations, our logo is going to be on everything. So